So today we're going to be doing a full body workout. So we're gonna start with upper body and we're gonna be emphasizing the deltoid muscle. So we're gonna be putting a deltoid exercise between every set of our upper body exercises. If you're like me and want to grow your deltoid muscle, that muscle right here on the top of your shoulder, hit that like button for me to let me know you want more of this type of content and to help support the channel. So thank you for that. So today, I still am recovering a little bit from my knee injury. I slammed this knee pretty hard. So we're going to be doing some lower body exercises, but more in some low impact stretching exercises for the lower body for our full body workout. So what you're gonna need for this is a set of dumbbells and either a bench or a flat surface you can lay down on. I'm gonna be using a bench. If you have any questions, let me know. We're gonna be starting with a warm up. So I'm gonna be doing 2 exercises for the warm up. One is so we're gonna start with a flat bench. Now for a warm up, I start with slightly lighter dumbbells to get some blood flow into the muscle to prime them for the work we're gonna be doing. So this is gonna work the muscles in your chest and triceps, along with some of the front of your shoulder. For this, I'm gonna have my hands right over the top of my shoulders, chest pushed out. I'm gonna bring the dumbbells down to the sides to where they're all the way down at my chest level. So I'm gonna do about 10 reps of these. This shouldn't be strenuous yet, shouldn't be tiring. So if it is tiring, you're going a little too heavy for your warm-up set. Just going for 10 repetitions with a lighter dumbbell just to get some blood flow into the joint and muscle. Eight, 9, and 10. This is just getting the muscle primed and ready to go. So now I'm gonna do a row. I'm gonna put one hand right underneath my shoulder, try and keep my back straight, let the arm hang down to the ground or down towards the ground, and then pull up to my rib cage. This is working the muscle in the bicep and the lats, which is in your upper back. So bicep right here in your upper arm, and lats are up here in your back. And again, just going for 10 reps, just getting some blood flow into the muscle and joint. And same thing on the other side. Hand right underneath the shoulder, back straight, pulling up to your rib cage. And 10. Now, if you don't have a bench like this, you can put your hand on your knee, do the same thing, supporting off of your knee. So those are gonna be our first 2 exercises, but before we do that, we're gonna emphasize that deltoid muscle. So like I said, between every set, we're gonna do a deltoid movement. So for that, I'm gonna grab a lighter dumbbell. Start with my hands right at my sides. Standing straight, you're gonna lift out to the sides, just like you're making a snow angel. So this is called a lateral raise. I'm gonna do about 10 of these, only going as high as your shoulder. Now I'm trying to not lift my shoulders up towards my ears. I'm trying to just lift my arm. And that's gonna emphasize that deltoid on the top of your shoulder. 9 and 10. So putting it between every exercise we do, it's gonna put a lot of work and tension into that deltoid, which is what's gonna cause it to grow. So while we're maintaining all of our other muscles, we're growing that deltoid. So I'm going back to a heavier dumbbell, going back to a dumbbell bench press. Now with a heavier dumbbell because I'm a little more warmed up. For some reason my camera's not working. Give me a second. There we go. So, same form as before. We've tried to warm up with good form. So, same thing, dumbbells right over the top of your shoulders, chest pushed out, bringing the dumbbells down to your chest level, and then back up. Nice and controlled, don't let it bounce at the bottom. So hold for just a moment at the bottom of the movement. Feel that working in your chest and the back of your arms. Going for about 10 reps. And stand back on your knees and stand up. All right. Hang on just one moment. So since we're emphasizing deltoid, we're gonna put a deltoid movement right between. Give me one quick second. Okay. So, standing straight and tall, lifting up to the sides for 10 reps. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should feel that burning in the top of your shoulder, and 10. Now, if you have any sort of pain in the top of your shoulder or tingling down your arm, you're lifting too high. Try and just go to where you feel tension but no pain. Now, something I like about these dumbbells is they're very fast to adjust to a different weight. If you need to take a little bit more time switching the weights, that is okay. I'll move this just a little bit. There we go. All right, now doing a supported row. So letting your arm hang down to the ground, pulling up to your rib cage, and then back down. Trying to keep your back as straight as you can. Doing 10 each side. 6. So I'm bending my elbow, trying to bring it straight back. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then same thing on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now on that side, my hamstring is a little bit tighter, so it's a little more difficult to have my back straight. If you need to, you can bend your knee a little bit more, and that'll help straighten out that back a little bit. And shifting back to a lighter dumbbell. Going for deltoid lateral raises again. So this really adds to the amount of work we're doing with those deltoids. Gives a little bit of a break while we're doing other exercises for muscles to recover, but really lets you get in a lot of volume or repetitions on that exercise and that's how a muscle grows faster, is by increasing the amount of times we work it during the week. Excuse me a moment. So by putting it in between everything, putting a set of deltoid between every other set of exercises, means we get twice as much deltoid work as we do everything else. And so if you're really looking to grow a muscle specifically, having it be your priority will help grow that muscle faster. And if we try to grow everything all at once, everything grows a little bit rather than having one thing grow a lot and everything else maintain their muscle or grow slightly. But that's why we're emphasizing that deltoid, doing it a lot of repeated sets, because we want it to grow faster than everything else. So if you're looking for a muscle to be prioritized, really upping the times you work it during the week can make all the difference. All right, going back to dumbbell bench press. Hands right up at the top of the shoulders. It's our last bench press or dumbbell bench press. So pushing the chest out, finishing strong, trying to bring all the way down, good form, all the way through. So no half reps. So no going down to here and coming back up. Try and go all the way down, tap, and then back up. 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more, 10, and relax. And lightening the dumbbells. Arms at your sides, going into lateral raises. Trying for 10 reps, 3. Now, there's nothing special about 10 reps. I just like to aim for that because I find that if I go too few reps, I have to go much heavier, and that's difficult on my joints. But 10 reps is a good balance of I'm not having to do a ton of extra reps where it's going to take more time, but I'm also not having to do so few reps that it's hard on my joints. So 10 reps is a good place to shoot for, especially because you want to try and aim for about 1 to 2 away from not being able to do another rep. So if you are going for 10, it's saying if you could really push yourself, you can maybe get 11 or 12 done, but in that case, 10 would be a good number to shoot for. In fitness, that's called RIR, or reps in reserve. And usually you want to shoot for about 2 reps in reserve, because that's that sweet spot of fatigue versus muscle strength building or muscle building. So you do build a little bit more muscle by going higher, but you generate a lot more fatigue. And so it tends to be not as worth it, especially in the long term. So I'm gonna bend my knee slightly just to take tension off that hamstring so I can straighten my back, lifting up to the rib cage, doing a supported row. That's what this exercise is, a supported row. Working my back and my upper arm. And relax. Same thing other side. So I'm gonna bend my knee just a little bit. Try to keep my back straight, going up to my rib cage. Excuse me. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, going for our lateral raises, working on that deltoid muscle next. So starting with your hands at your sides, lifting up to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And go ahead and set the dumbbells to the side. I'm gonna move my bench out of the way. And we're gonna go into some stretching for the legs. Now, for this, you'll either need something like this, where you can put your foot up on top of I have a peg sort of set right here. But if you don't have that, totally fine to just use a chair. So we're going to go into some stretching for the legs. So you could also do this, putting your foot up on a chair. So first thing we're going to do is a stretch for the quads. So I'm gonna take my foot, put it up on top of something. Now if you wanted to, you could put it up on the back of a chair, anything that's just gonna be about that height. And then from here, you're gonna lean back till you feel a stretch in the front of your thigh. We're gonna hold that for 30 seconds. So you should feel this stretch across the front of your hip, down through your knee. I like to do this after a workout while everything's all warmed up and work on flexibility. Right now, I'm trying to work on stretching out my legs. I bashed this knee pretty badly into concrete. So as that's healing, I don't want to do a lot of squats and things with it, but I still want to put some tension into it. So I'm stretching to keep that flexibility and mobility in my legs and hips, my knees and my hips. And same thing on the other side. So putting your foot up. You could even do this on a bed if you'd like. Putting your foot up on the bed or a couch. And then leaning to the back till you feel that stretch in the front of your thigh. And we're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds. I find stretching is a great way to get back in to moving and working out. You're creating tension in that muscle and that tendon. So you're reacclimating your body to having that mechanical tension in it. So if you're just starting out, I really love stretching, especially even if you've been working out a while. Stretching can get areas of the muscle and tendon that you have trouble tensioning under weights or doing exercise. So sometimes they can hit muscles in a little bit different way. Like for me, this muscle right in here tends to be tight, right up at the front of my hips. I find this makes a big difference, that even doing something like a split squat doesn't quite get that as deeply as doing a dedicated stretch does. So now you're gonna face towards, put your leg up on a surface. We're gonna stretch the muscles in the back of the thigh. These are the hamstring muscles. So trying to keep your back flat and your leg up till you feel that stretch. If you can't quite get it high enough, if your surface is a little lower, you can always lean a little bit forward to increase that stretch. So just leaning forward, not down, but forward, and that will increase that stretch on the back of your thigh. We're stretching all these muscles back here. So trying to keep your back flat. Now, if your leg is a little bit shaking, back off just a little bit. You want to go to where there's tension but no pain. If you're at that point where it's starting to spasm, you've gone, excuse me, you've gone a little bit too far. Holding for 30 seconds on all these stretches. And what I like to do to get out of this stretch is I take my hand, grab underneath my knee, and help pull that tension off the leg. So same thing, other side, putting your leg up, and then holding that stretch once you feel that tension. If you need to, you can lean a little bit forward to increase that tension. And holding for 30 seconds. I like this because I feel like I get higher up on my hamstrings with this. Where I'm getting all the way up. I can actually feel the muscle tensioned all the way up here at the back of my hip. It doesn't just stretch at the back of my knee. Sometimes, depending on how you stretch it, you can stretch different parts of that same muscle. So I like to do this one because I find that it gets a little higher up into the hamstrings for me. 10 more seconds. And lifting off. Now we're going to stretch the muscles on the inner part of the thigh in here. So for this, we're going to do a side lunge stretch. So you're going to bring your leg out to the side. And then from here, you're going to push down with your body. So this keeps your leg from moving up. And you should feel that stretch on the inner part of your thigh in here. If you want to increase it, you can try and push down with your leg into that stretch. The lower you go, the more of a stretch it's going to be. And holding that stretch, again, should be no pain, only just a tension feeling in the inner part of your thigh. Fifteen more seconds. And same thing other side. So kneeling down, one leg out to the side, dropping into that hip, really pushing down, trying to think about driving your hips downwards towards the ground. And holding for 30 seconds. This is also great for that Spider-Man pose. So if you want to stretch this, just think about that. You ever see it where they're like this, the Spider-Man pose? And relax. And we just stretched the inner part of the thigh. Now we're gonna stretch these outer parts. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna do a figure 4 stretch. So you're gonna bring your leg out to the side. So my knees bent and my, let's see, foot's just a little bit out to the side. There we go. Now you can see it. From here, I'm going to bring my chest forward. I'm gonna support with my hands. I'm just gonna try and bring my chest towards my knee. Feeling a stretch in this bent leg on the outer part. So I'm sort of creating that figure 4 shape with my leg and my body. Holding for 30 seconds. Now, a lot of people, this is tight and they don't even realize it until their back starts hurting. Some people have sciatic pain because this muscle is so tight, it's putting pressure on the nerve. So I like to stretch this preemptively to keep everything flexible, and so it's not all tight and knotted up over the top of that nerve. And same thing other side. So bringing that leg out to the side and your chest down towards your leg. Now this side I'm a little bit more flexible on, so I can actually get my knee all the way to the ground. So just go to where you feel tension but no pain. So don't feel like you have to force your knee to the ground. Holding for 30 seconds. It's called a piriformis stretch or a figure 4 stretch. I think yoga has a different name for it. I think they call it pigeon pose. Yeah, if you know, let me know in the comments. Never been into yoga. And relax. All right, so that was our workout for today. If you like this sort of workout and want to see more, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hope to see you there.